Good Wednesday morning. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. And I'm going to cover first what came through last night and then what we might be looking at today. So what you're looking at here is radar indicated rainfall, and you can see there was a very sharp cutoff. It so happens there's a boundary, that dotted line, there's a boundary laying across the area this morning, and that's roughly where the precipitation really cut off. That some of us down to about that dotted line got some sprinkles, maybe a trace of rainfall, but the cutoff was very sharp as the storm line was, okay, I guess the marker doesn't want to work. So there we go. So the storm line was moving down this way, and then it just hit kind of the outer edges of an area of stability, stopped, and then eventually the storms then began to move northeast. So the northwestern part of the county got some decent rain last night, while some of us got some sprinkles, and the southern part of the county got absolutely nothing. It was really just kind of like it hit a wall. As we take a look here, this is radar indicated rainfall. You can see radar is indicating somewhere in the 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch rainfall amounts from Frankton up through Alexandria, and then over by Summitville, and then back toward Elwood and Leisure. So parts of the county picked up some decent rain last night, maybe 1/2 inch to maybe some localized 1 inch amounts. Heavier rainfall fell back over as northwestern Hamilton County and a good chunk of Tipton County. But again, it just never, it was like it kind of hit that wall of stability, changed directions, and then began to move northeast. Here's a look at the radar across much of Illinois and then almost all of Indiana. And we can see now there's still rainfall once again back out in Illinois, and then it kind of loops around and goes across northwestern Indiana. Again, that dashed line is a boundary that's laying around. Where that decides to shift to is going to affect any storm development today, and also that's all going to affect today's highs. If we don't really develop any storms and the cloud cover decreases, then we'll have highs in the low to mid 90s again, and heat index values around 105 again. And so there is a heat advisory in effect for today. However, if storms decide to develop, and around here we might be watching kind of where that line died off last night, might be an incubation spot for today. The thing that may prevent that, though, is that there was an outflow boundary that kicked off from those storms that made it all the way down into southern Indiana. So it's just there's no real way to know how this is going to decide to act today, because there's this battle between the disturbance and this strong dome of high pressure that's bringing this heat in. So I'll keep an eye on it. I know it's just a big hodgepodge of, maybe, but that's really where we are today. There's just, we don't know whether this rainfall is going to be able to make it, if that high pressure is going to move enough to allow rainfall to make it, this far again. If it does, storms could be severe today. We'll take a look at the SPC outlooks, and then I'll stop babbling. I haven't been awake very long, so my brain's not really working very well yet. As we look at the SPC outlook, right now they've got the severe threat back to the west over Illinois, as that line last night kind of stabilized things here a little bit. Again, nighttime looks like it may be the right time for severe. As we move on, it's got got us into tomorrow for the severe threat. Again, this may be actually in the overnight hours to early morning hours tomorrow. Well, again, we just got to see how this stuff decides to move, because there's again a battle going on, and so but there is a marginal risk of severe, probably for the very early morning hours, the pre-dawn hours maybe for tomorrow. I'll analyze that a little bit better this morning, hopefully. There may actually be a tornado threat with that, whereas the storms last night had no tornado threat. And then there's also damaging winds and a large hail threat. The worst of those threats will again be out over Illinois, as they'll be closer to the prime time. With this type of setup, it's as you get into the evening and the air begins to be able to lift that these things will develop better. So that's going to happen more in Illinois. Storm Prediction Center moves all of the storm threat off to our southeast by Friday. That might be a little fast. We'll see how that works out. So we'll keep an eye on Friday, but at the moment, the Storm Prediction Center has not even a storm threat for Friday. So I'll analyze these things better and do a better video for you later on. But the main thing I had started off wanting to cover this morning is just how that rainfall cut off last night. Again, northern parts of the county got good rain. The rest of us, little to none. So hopefully that'll, some of that rainfall out to our west will be able to make it here, because we need it. It's been pretty hot and dry, but we'll just see how that develops, and I will update you in a much more coherent fashion later on. This is Micah with Madison County Weather Updates. Have a great day.